I've been searching, and granted, it's still very early in the season, so it's not like it's been 40 days and 40 nights of searching. But I've been looking for what Duke's thing is going to be this year, right? Every basketball team, every football, every college team, heck, most professional teams, there's only a handful of, seemingly flawless teams in the history of sports. They have something, right? The best way I can describe it is using the analogy from the movie Draft Day starring Kevin Costner, where he's talking about evaluating quarterback prospects, and he starts listing all these like big flaws about legendary NFL quarterback prospects throughout the years, I should say. John Elway threw it too hard. He had no touch, broke his wide receiver's fingers. But in the end, it didn't matter. Peyton Manning didn't have a strong enough arm. He didn't throw a great spiral, but in the end, it just didn't matter. So his argument is when you're looking at a prospect, a quarterback prospect in the draft, you have to figure out what their flaw is and then figure out if it matters or not. And I kind of treat teams the same way, right? In the early part where you're just playing, for the most part, overmatched non-conference games, well, what's the thing that is your flaw, and does it matter? Can you overcome it? And I couldn't figure it out for Duke, right? They were just blandly kind of across the board good in most of their games. Even the opener against Texas, right? They didn't start fast, but a freshman starting slow in their first career game against Texas. I'm not like, there it is, that's the thing to overcome. No, by the second half they were rolling and they beat them by double digits. Before I tell you what I think they exposed as their obstacle to overcome, Jon Scheyer after the game shared his thoughts on the win over Kansas.
Really proud of our win tonight. I thought, that there's the epitome of our team a little bit. The fact that all 9 guys scored, but all 9 guys made big contributions. A ton of respect for Kansas, their program, Coach Self. We knew, unfortunately, obviously Peterson being out changes their team, of course. But you also know that those other guys are going to step up. And I thought the game that White had, Council, it's what we thought. They put a ton of pressure on us.
Acknowledging that Peterson wasn't there is a big part of the game, as Dennis brought up. Here's what I think it is. Doesn't matter if they don't have a 7-footer. And I know Gongba's listed at 6'11", but for whatever reason, when I'm watching the game, when I'm trying to pay attention to what Duke is doing well and is not doing well, he doesn't play or stand out in the same ways that we've seen 7-footers stand out for Duke in the past. In order of year, over the last 4 or 5 years, they had Kaman Malawash last year, 7'2", springy athlete, long arms. The year before that, Kyle Filipowski was their only listed 7-footer, and I think that was part of what they had to overcome. They didn't have a true dude.
No, they didn't. He was more of a stretch 4.
Which I think part of it played into Derek Lively the year before being so good that he could be a lottery pick after his freshman year. If he would have stuck around, I think that team would have been really good.
Oh, yeah.
So then Derek Lively the previous year, obviously, 7-footer, rim runner, rim protector. You see it with the Mavericks now. 2 years prior to that, Mark Williams. Right? They had these vertical style big guys. Right? Patrick Ngongba, I'm having a really hard time explaining it. He is big, right? He's 6'11". He's very good offensively. He's more of like a horizontal big than a vertical big. Right? It's wingspan, it's wide. He is very strong. But I don't see him matching guys at the top of the square. Right, I don't see him matching guys with rim protection. And really, I mean, against Indiana State, he had 4 blocks this year. Other than that, I think he might have 1 on the season, yet he's been in foul trouble multiple times. So maybe you don't even want him protecting the rim aggressively because he's very valuable in other ways, and you don't want him to get in foul trouble. This all started, I'll tell you where this whole thing came from. Cam Boozer is big. Okay, Cam Boozer is tall. Cam Boozer is strong. He's built. He looks like he's like heavy. He's dense. Might be the way to describe it. He was working around the bucket against Kansas a lot. And it was good. It was hard work. He was throwing, feints and dekes and dream shakes and all the skill that we hear about from Cam Boozer. But he had his shots altered a lot. He had hands that were getting, if not blocking shots, pretty darn close. 2 of his points came on a goaltend. Now hey, if they're going to goaltend, give you the points, go ahead. But when you have one of your dudes who's one of your bigger guys operating down low, I don't want him getting his points because, good thing the thing hit the backboard before they blocked it. They aren't, they just, I think that's what it's going to end up being. And by the way, there might be, 7 teams in the country that it's even going to matter against because you have to have springy, athletic, vertical bigs on the other side. Now, there are ways to deal with this, as we've seen in basketball, especially the last 15 years. There are ways to deal with this without even thinking you got to get better size or play bigger down low. You can get small and go run and gun. I just don't see that as Duke's deal. I don't see them, taking big guys off the floor and getting more possessions. They're too good and too strong. So I just think that's the thing. That's the story. That's what happens now. I don't think, this is, by the way, I'm not lowering their ceiling. I'm just saying if they're going to reach their ceiling, this is what I think they have to be able to outdo. Because there are still plays like Cam Boozer, he had a Kevin Love outlet pass, right? A little rebound outlet to Isaiah Evans for the dunk. And I'm going that's an outlet pass you put on a highlight film. His vision, his handle, so much of the skill, it's still there. I just don't think he's a traditional big because he's not. I actually kind of, side note from Duke, right? And they beat the number 24 team in the country by 12. So acknowledge that I'm saying this as can they win a national championship? Not can they make the Elite Eight and Final Four? It's a high bar to jump over. But putting that aside for a second, I love how the story of multiple teams the last couple of years have had to do with big men. When the lineup of death in the Golden State Warriors, the whole thing was take the big man off the floor and let some 6'6" guy try to guard bigger than his size. I was like, you're not going to do away with the big guys completely, right? I feel like we've come back around to now you do need size again. You do need, one of those rim protectors, rim runners. If they can shoot the 3, great, don't get me wrong. But basketball is starting to feel like the basketball I grew up with again. And nostalgically, old man yelling at clouds, I kind of like that. And the craziest part about all this, now going back to Duke, is they are a gigantic team on average. The shortest person in their rotation is Caden Boozer at 6'4", and he plays bigger than 6'4" because he's strong as an ox. So that they are, top to bottom, a very, very tall team. They just don't have 7'2". They have 6'11" as kind of their high water mark.
Like you said, even do you play big?
Yes.
That's the question. Yeah, you can be all right. 6'11", 6'11" ain't short. You have the size, but do you play big?
It's explosively vertical is what they don't have. It's and again, there might only be a handful of teams in the country that it's even going to be noticeable against. But what was it, Fadunga? They had some dudes on Kansas that were affecting seemingly every shot at the bucket, and it didn't seem as difficult on the other end. And then Duke pulled away to win by 12. So, but without Darren Peterson, a lot of context in this one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, and now I know it's a track. Every game I'm going to be watching. I won't be able to stop. My brain works that way.
I just thinking ahead.
Yep.
The teams here in the Triangle, Duke the way they're built, Carolina the way they're built, State the way they're built. Styles make fights, right? They all have different. Their rosters are all built a little bit differently. Their styles of play are all a little bit different. It's going to be a lot of fun when these teams actually do face each other. Granted, in a couple months, but I'm looking forward to it already.
Personalities are very different as well.
Yeah.
Right? Personalities, coaches are very different. Coaching personalities are very different. Right? Oil and water don't mix. Well, obviously those colors don't mix, meaning they're team colors. And also, I think, again, this year, I think it's going to feel like 1988 or something like that around here. There's going to be a lot of really good college basketball in the Triangle. Not to say these teams don't have stuff to overcome, as we've been illustrating. They do, but I just think their personalities are going to find a way to overcome most of it, and eventually those unstoppable forces are going to meet those immovable objects, and we're going to be there with our popcorn.